When I was campaigning in 2009, I talked a lot about my priorities being safe neighborhoods, quality economic development, and forward-thinking transportation. Those are still priorities for me, and I think that we've made some headway in some of those areas, and I think that we're sorely lacking in others. But I'm optimistic, and I would add to those priorities the need for us to re-engage our citizenry, to open up and have public process that engages the folks who live here in Fort Worth to get involved into the things that affect them in our city. Our budget is obviously one of those areas that we need even greater citizen involvement. There are many others, and I'll be embarking on a few of those in the coming months in my district. Forest Park Pool, new phases of Berry Street Initiative, dealing with growth on Hemp Hill, things like that in the coming months. And I encourage the folks who have returned me to office yet again, the folks of District 9, to get involved in those processes, because it is the thing that will make our city better. I'm optimistic. We still have a looming budget deficit. We still have a lot of problems to work out. But I'm optimistic that we as this body, that I think works together very well, and we have our differences. We don't always agree on things, but I do think we work well together. And I hope that with a new council member and with a new mayor, we will continue in that pattern. But I'm optimistic that we will continue to work towards making Fort Worth a better place. And I think all of us here at this table are committed to that. I want to thank the many, many, many people who show up to meetings like this, who are involved in their neighborhood associations, who take often thankless terms as being an officer in their neighborhood association, and who serve on our city boards and commissions, oftentimes representing each of us individually as district representatives or representing this body as a whole. They give countless hours to this city, and we could not move forward and survive without their passion and without their very generous contribution of their time and their intellect. I want to thank all my colleagues for serving with me. Like I said, we don't always agree, but I do think that we respect one another, and I think that we serve with the goal of the betterment of our city, and we learn from each other. Lastly, I want to thank my family and friends who have been there to support me from before my first race in 2007 and in the subsequent two. I particularly want to thank my council aide Data and Taylor McCarty, who's sitting in the back row. And lastly, I want to thank my family. It's been an interesting last 6 months for me. A lot of very, very highs and a lot of very, very lows. And my friends and family have been with me during that period. And I particularly want to thank my husband of 18 years, J.D. Ankle. Thank you.
Mr. Jordan.